You know, a few changes can make a big impact in your kitchen, especially when it comes to storage. I recently visited my new friend Linda out in Bellevue, who wanted to keep her original cabinets, but make them work better for her. So Linda called Alan from Shelf Genie to work his magic.
Hi, Amity.
Hi, Linda. Thank you. Linda, thank you so much for welcoming us into your beautiful home. Your house is incredible. It's so unique. Your kitchen especially, original 1954 cabinetry. Yeah. It was beautiful, but something wasn't working for you. What wasn't exactly working in your kitchen?
The drawers. I had drawers that I could not open. So
something was telling you, call the Shelf Genie.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Alan, who has a very common presence, is with us right now. Alan, come on over. So
it's good to see you again.
It is so great to see you in your habitat, because you and I have only been in the studio together. But to hear what Linda says about, you know, just the care you took for her kitchen, it's so great. Totally. Because honestly, I'm looking at these like original birchwood cabinets, and you can't even tell that you've completely changed the inside.
That's what I love about this business, is that we get to take beautiful space like this. These are older cabinets, but they're so much nicer than most of the newer cabinets that are built today. So, you know, we focus on the insides of the space, making them more accessible, more efficient, more organized, quality-wise, and they're just amazing.
So Linda, take me through some of the things that weren't working for you and what Shelf Genie did for you.
I had a silverware drawer that we could not use. It would not open unless, you know, you had some big strong guy to come and yank it open.
Yeah. So Alan, what did you do?
So the silverware drawer, I remember, I believe it was just wood on wood. There was really no hardware per se, which in really old cabinet, after a while, you get this squeaking, scraping noise, and especially if you have a lot of weight, they just don't pull out very nicely. So we were able to replace those boxes with our boxes and our hardware into the same space, and then we just take the front of that existing drawer off, and then put our box in, and then mount that front back on, so it looks exactly the same. It just operates much, much nicer.
One of the things that you have in your kitchen is really important to you. It's your grandmother's and your mother's china. How did Shelf Genie help you store that more safely?
I'm sort of a freak about the earthquake when it hits, so I have all of my really good dishes, my grandmother's dishes, and I kept them in the drawers. Well, they're very heavy, and so once again, you can't really get that drawer open easily. And I actually broke a couple of things just trying to, you know.
Oh no!
Yeah, I did, trying to get it out, but. Then Alan came in and he saw some things that I had never thought of, and that's when it got really exciting.
Well, like the pantry, right, Alan?
When we look at a space, we try to see the whole space, because again, oftentimes clients don't know what they don't know. So we just kind of take a look at the whole thing. And that was one space, you know, where I asked my typical question, which is, you know, how often do you use the items in here? And it was
Once a year?
Not that often. And this was a pretty big space, this nice, tall, deep space with plenty of potential to be a pantry. That's what we turned into the pantry. And, you know, redesigned that to make it more efficient, and then put all those nice everyday used items into that space.
Those pull-out drawers that hold the heavy weight, we were just saying, Linda said that you said she could sit on it.
You could, yeah, absolutely. And then the last space was the pots and pans below the oven, right, with the cast iron, I should say. And I remember in that one, it did have some pull-out shelves, I believe, but they were like original, or they were really old, right? And then I think the one thing I noticed in there was a large amount of vertical space that wasn't being used. It just wasn't very efficient in that space as a whole. So we took those old ones out and then redesigned it, and we ended up adding another level to make everything really easy to get to without having to pile things on top of each other.
When Linda came to you and she said, okay, I want to do these things, I didn't realize that you would do that in stages, so that you can do just parts of the kitchen.
Absolutely, yeah. We want to make sure we're able to provide a solution that our clients are comfortable with. And sometimes that means we end up designing a lot of different spaces because, oh my gosh, this is really exciting. I had no idea we could do this. But it doesn't mean they have to do it all at once, especially. So we have clients that, you know, let's just do what's most important to you now. Yeah. And then if you want, later on, we can add more sections as you go along. And what's really nice, actually, we have a program where we lock in the pricing for the items that you don't order initially for up to a year after the first order.
Yeah, I took advantage of that.
Yes, I'm glad you did. Linda, tell us what your favorite parts of the kitchen are now that Shelf Genie has done their magic, and how Shelf Genie has impacted your daily life.
I feel more organized because I can get at it quickly. It closes, it makes me feel good, and I find myself taking care of things more and keeping them more organized. Whereas before it was just, all my drawers were junk drawers. And now they're not.
Now they're not.
Now they're not. Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised knowing Alan.
We do our best.
Thank you again so much for taking us into your home. And Alan, thank you so much for showing us everything that you've done and making Linda's life so much easier.
It's my pleasure. That's why I love doing this.
And Shelf Genie has a special offer for our viewers. The first 15 New Day callers will get a free professional design consultation and free installation. So great.